Hello everyone, this is a brief tutorial on how to create quizzes in Blackboard. As you can see, I'm logged into Blackboard. On the right hand side, you're going to see all my courses. I'm going to go ahead and select the course where I want to create the quiz. On the left hand side, of course, you're going to see all of the links where you can add content to your Blackboard. I'm going to create my quiz in assignments. From here, you can see that I've already created an assignment, but I want to create a quiz. So I'm going to go up here to assessments and click on test. Now from here, of course, the first time you use this tool, you will have to create a new test. But as time goes on, you can have a full list of tests and quizzes and use them for different subjects or however you'd like to do it. For now, I'm going to click on create. Now from here, I'm going to title it, let's title it Lap 1 Quiz. You can create a description of the quiz. You can also create instructions here. So let's see. This is a quiz for lap 1. In my instructions, I'm going to say, please answer all questions. Of course, this is going to be much longer, shorter, however you'd like. And then hit submit. Okay. So now this test has no questions. We need to add questions. Each question will total 10 points, so you can have as many as you'd like. If you want to have 10 questions, if you want to have 50, it's up to you. So I'm going to create the first question. Now, these questions, you have, as you can see, multiple choices of how you want to develop your question. So it can be an essay response, it could be a jumbled sentence that the student has to fix, it can be a fill in the blank or fill in multiple blanks, it could be a matching, multiple answer, multiple choice. You really have many choices here. But for our purposes, I'm going to go ahead and do multiple choice for our first question. So let's see. First, I'm going to label it question number 1. And then I'm going to go here. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and, yes, I'll leave it question number 1 for now. And then in the question text, how many grades are there at IWHS? So that's my question. I'm asking the students, how many grades are there at IWHS? Scroll down. Here are the options. You can do numbering, 1, 2, 3, 4, for the multiple choice. You can do the multiple choice horizontally or vertically. You can allow partial credit, or you can show answers in a random order. I'm going to do show answers in a random order. I want the answers to always be randomized as I go along. This helps cut down on cheating, as you all well know. It also helps that students, it just gives each student a unique experience in the quiz or the test. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one. So select the number of answers. You can have as many answers as you want. I mean, I think you're limited to 100. So if you want to have 100 multiple choice, that is up to you. But you have to have at least 4. So the first one I'm going to do, let's see, my question was, how many grades are there at IWHS? I'm going to say 2 grades, 8th and 9th grade, which is incorrect, as you all will know. 1 grade, seniors rule, also wrong, although seniors do rule. 3 grades, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Nope. Or 4 grades, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Before you continue, you have to select which answer is correct. So it tells you which of them is correct. This one? No. Nope. Nope. And yes. So this is the correct answer. Now, you can also give feedback. So correct response feedback. So for example, when the student gets the answer correct, you can say, good job. Yes, there are 4 grades at IWHS. You can also give an incorrect response feedback. So not quite. There are 4 grades at IWHS. Now, under categories and keywords, this is something that you use the more that you develop your quizzes. I'm not going to go into this right now. I will add another tutorial later on. Just be aware that as time progresses, you can make the quizzes and the tests more difficult. It just depends on how you want to use this particular module within Blackboard. So this is to come. If you have any questions, just come and ask us in person. But this is not necessary for your test or your quiz, whatever you're doing. You can also add any notes. So let's say, good job. And of course you can leave this blank, it's up to you. And then you can hit submit. Now I have a question. Hooray! But one question doesn't seem quite enough for this quiz. So as you can see, one question, 10 points. So I'm going to go ahead and add another one. Oops. Okay. I'm going to go. This will happen sometimes too. It's a Blackboard little issue we have with it, but it's okay. I'm going to go ahead and do a fill in the blank. That looks fun. Okay. Our question's going to be Question 2. What is our theme at IWHS for 2017-2018? God is my blank. Now, this is what the students are going to see, and then they have to type in the response. So, number of answers, just one. You can do, now this is important here. You can do an exact match, contains, or pattern match. I suggest you always do contains, because this, you don't want it to be case sensitive unless, it's specific, like if it's a name. Because sometimes a student will do God is my anchor, period. Or they'll do God is my anchor, lowercase, period. Or they'll forget the period. You just want to make sure that you have the word in there. I'm going to go ahead. There we are. Then you can also develop a feedback, like for the last question, the same thing. Let's see. Great job. Our theme is God is, my anchor. Or you can do, nope, or let's see, not quite. Our theme this year is God is my anchor. Okay. Again, you can add categories and keywords, any instructor notes, it's up to you, and then hit submit. So now you can see my total questions. I've got 2 questions and they're worth 20 points. So it's up to you, again, how many questions you want to do. It just really depends on your personal preference. If you want to have 5 questions, 20 questions, it's really up to you. So once you've done all of your questions and you're happy, you're saying, yes, my quiz is done, click OK. And now the lap quiz that you just created, when we first clicked on assignments and then created a test up here, now it's here in your drop-down list. And you can hit submit. Okay, so this is the quiz. My quiz is done. Now I'm going to set all of my preferences for this quiz. So this is a quiz for lap 1. This is the same as before. You can show the test description to students before they begin. You can show instructions to students before they begin. I suggest you do both, just because it gives students an idea of what to expect in the quiz. Like everything else in Blackboard, when you submit it, you can also create the display. So you can say after a certain point, display until, but let's start here at the top. You can make the link available. Do you want the quiz already available? Yes or no? I'm going to say yes. You can add an announcement. So as soon as you finish the quiz, an announcement can go out to your students saying that this quiz is available for them to go ahead and take. I'm going to say yes again. You can allow multiple attempts. This is up to you. If this is just for a completion grade, you can go ahead and allow multiple attempts. If you just want it to be one attempt, you can do that as well. This is your preference on how you want to set up your quiz. For my purposes, I'll just go ahead and click on it. I'm going to say they can have 2 attempts. So the first time can be that they just read through the questions. The second time can be that's the one that I'm going to take. So, score attempts using. You can have the last grade that was attempted if you allow multiple attempts. The highest grade they got out of the 2 attempts. The lowest grade they got out of the 2 attempts. The first grade attempted, or on average. It's up to you how you want to do this. I'm going to say, let's do the highest grade. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling nice today. So the highest grade that they got out of the 2 attempts, that will be the one that I accept. You can force completion. Once it's started, the test has to be completed in one sitting. I would say I'm going to do that for my quiz. You don't have to do this if you want. It'll save the questions for the kids and they can go back later and finish the quiz. It's up to you how you want to do that. You can also set a timer. If you want the quiz to be finished within 60 minutes, 30 minutes, 2 hours, however many minutes you want, you can do that as well. And again, you can display it after a certain point until a certain point. So I want my quiz, let's say it's open until it was open yesterday at midnight, and it will be available until the 31st at midnight. Again, you can create a password. This is something that Blackboard allows. This is up to you if you want to use this resource. I suggest you don't, just because we've had issues with passwords in the past. But if you want to do that, go for it. And if you encounter any issues, of course, just let us know. You can add, click Add User or Group to search the course users and groups to add the exceptions list. So if you only want certain students to take this quiz for whatever reason, then you can add the user to this list of exceptions. So this student will not take the quiz. Up to you how you want to do that, but this is available as a tool. You can also set a due date. So I want my assignments to be due the 31st at midnight. And then this is an option that is not allowed in assignments. This is something that's specifically for tests. Do not allow students to start the test if the due date has passed. If you want to use this for certain assignments, you certainly can. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. All right. So self-assessment options, this is if you want to, if you're using the grading center in Blackboard, this is a great tool to use. If you are using this in Blackboard and you need some help, just let us know. But for now, we're going to go ahead and leave this blank. So show the test results and feedback to students. This is again your option. You can show the student after the submission. So once they hit enter and they've submitted their quiz, that you can show all of the answers that they got correct or incorrect. You can do a one-time view on a specific date. If you want the answers to the quiz to be available after the 31st when the quiz is due, you can do that as well. All these options are available to you. So I'm going to say after submission, just because this is just a daily grade for me. I'm going to click after submission, and I want the kids. I'm going to show all the answers, correct, and submitted. I'm also going to show any feedback I gave for the quiz, and I want to show incorrect questions. I want them to see what they got wrong as a learning tool. Now, test presentation. Again, this is going to be the way that the test is shown to the students. So you can have all the questions available on one screen, or you can show the quiz questions one at a time. I like this one just because it lets students focus on one question at a time. But if you want to do all at once, of course, that's your preference. It's totally fine. However, if I'm going to show my questions one at a time, I'm going to prohibit backtracking. I don't want them to go back and try the question again. And I'm going to randomize my questions. I am going to make it so that every time the student takes the quiz, or all my students take the quiz, they're going to get the questions in a random order. They're not going to get the same order twice. So remember what I said before about randomizing. This is definitely a tool that you need to use. All right, hit submit. And there we are, Lap 1 quiz. So very briefly, I'm going to show you, this is of course our teacher view, remember, the dark gray. But up here at the top, I'm going to go ahead and click Edit Mode Off. And now I see what the students see. Lap 1 quiz. So I'm a student, I've signed into your Blackboard teachers, and I'm going to go ahead and take the quiz. I click on it. Okay, so this is what the students see. The description of the quiz, which is what we typed in. The instructions, please answer all questions. Forced completion, once started, the test has to be completed in one sitting. I am allowing multiple attempts, but you notice it doesn't show how many attempts I'm allowing. The due date, when it's due, and click begin. So, begin. What is our theme at IWHS? God is my anchor. And I'm going to save my answer. 10 points. I got it. Then I'm going to go to the next question. How many grades are there at IWHS? 1 grade, seniors rule, 3 grades, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, 2 grades, 8th and 9th grade, 4 grades, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I'm going to show you guys when I'm going to select the wrong answer. I'm going to do seniors rule. Save answer.